Good morning, traders. It is Wednesday, the 21st of January, 2026. This is today's Traders Daily Discipline. And I've got some news I'm going to share with you guys. I think tomorrow or maybe the next day. I think we're heading into well, I'm going to wait until I know a little bit more, give you guys an update on the quality of my work here moving forward. So when that happens, I'll let you know. But by the way, I've been getting some good feedback, and thank you. I really appreciate what you guys have to say. Likes and positive inputs and good comments. It's all very helpful. So please keep those cards and letters coming. All right, guys. Here's our today's quote to get us started. We've been following along the thought process of success and failure to kind of start the year because that tends to be on everybody's mind. But here's our quote to get us rolling for Wednesday. If you've made mistakes, even serious ones, there is always another chance for you. What we call failure is not the falling down, but the staying down. And that was said by Mary Pickford. For those of you unfamiliar with the name, Mary Pickford, I think, was born in 1888, died in 1979. She was a silent film actress, contemporary people like Charlie Chaplin and um, uh, oh, who was that blonde bombshell that everybody thought was just the end of the Jean Harlow. Uh, Fascinating time in the history of technology, growth, and marketing. It's the first time, if you think about what the internet did for communication, um, getting information out there, tying ideas together, moving information and opportunity back and forth, putting people in a position to make money. Maybe the people that created the internet early on, or the hardware to help manage it, produced huge fortunes. People like in the software business, maybe people like Cisco or Oracle. Hardware business, people like, you know, uh, oh gosh, I don't even know who's the people. Motorola invented the cell phone, but the wireless technology to put it all together, Bluetooth, I forget who that was. Anyway, the point is that the first real, um, I guess you'd have to say, mass attempt at communication was the movie industry. And they did something really astounding at the time, not even 150 years ago, is put ideas and thoughts and emotions into a 1.5 hour stretch of you watching something was never possible before. You know, uh, People who became well known because of their being on screen, created something that was never seen before. Movie stars. I mean, that was a big deal. Rudolph Valentino, uh, 22-year-old man, had no education or understanding of anything except he looked good, right? And before you know it, he's a gazillionaire. I mean, it was something huge. And Mary Pickford, of course, was one of those who was at the beginning of the whole show. Helped found United Artists with Charlie Chaplin, I think. Anyway, the point is, failure is a choice, and that's what I thought we would focus on today. If you really think this through, this quote to get us started as traders, if you made mistakes, even serious ones, that doesn't matter. There's another chance coming. Nothing is more true about a second chance than the marketplace. Nothing. It does not matter what happened yesterday or the day before or the year before, except in your mind. If you took money from a friend or from a family member because you thought you had it finally figured out and you borrowed that 10 or 20 grand from someone and you were so excited about what you were doing, but you got upside down on something, and before you knew it, you were down 30 or 40 or 50%, and you just couldn't handle the pain, the suffering, the loss, however you want to count it. and before you knew it, you'd blown out, and you had to come talk to that person about that and deal with all of those frustrations and pain and suffering and emotions and embarrassment and you know, grief. Imagine sitting down and saying, well, I'm going to come back from this. And you tried to do that, I'm sure. But maybe you just haven't been able to do it yet. Well, what we call failure is not the falling down, it's the staying down, really. The markets are going to always give you another chance. The markets don't care whose name is on the account. The markets don't care, if you're on the right side of the order flow. They don't care whose money gets deposited into whose account. Markets don't care about any of that. In fact, the people who own brokerage firms would rather have thousands and thousands of losers trying to come back than anything else, because they know that's a constant source of commissions. So believe me when I tell you, when you blow out, they're waiting for you to come back. They want you to come back. Don't stay down. And it really doesn't matter what it was that pushed you into a failure mindset. What matters is you have the choice to stay there. You don't have to stay there. In my own personal experience, I was never more I was hurt and frustrated, and took a long time to come back from my first real blowout, which was the grains in 1988. If you're not familiar with what happened in 1988 in the grain markets, uh, I would encourage you to look into it. It's a pretty fascinating story. It's very typical of what goes on in the mind of markets and traders. And remember, this was pre-internet. So look at what happened in 1991 in the crude oil market during the first Persian Gulf War, which was, again, pretty much pre-internet. I mean, it was starting to show up, but they didn't have automated trading. They didn't have people trading around the world. It was in 1991. It was still uh, the Wild West. And I talk about my blowout in crude oil in my book, The Art of the Trade. And it was devastating. I thought my life was over. But yet, that one event actually became the cornerstone of my entire market presence moving forward. What I thought was the absolute worst thing that could ever happen, and it put me behind the eight ball, and I thought my life was over. Actually, in the new looking at things way of things, it really changed my life. It was a galvanizing experience, but at the same time, it was an enlightening experience. And it changed my life. It led to the epiphany of understanding I had. And without it, I never would have been able to reach the levels of performance that I got after that. And I think it's important for us to look that way at our failures. Doesn't matter what they are, you're going to have them, but don't look at them as failures. It's just information, and it will teach you where your methodology is on track and where it isn't. And what you want to learn more than anything else from all of your failures is what it is that's keeping you off track, and change it. And don't be ashamed or frustrated or embarrassed to admit you're making some serious mistake over and over and over again. Instead, make the commitment to resolving it so you never, ever, ever have to go through it again. And that's work. And that's why you're going to make mistakes, even serious ones. But those really are the doorway through which you walk to ultimate success. But that's only if you get up again. So real failure, that only happens if you lay there and bleed to death. Success is when you stand back up, get back on your feet, get ready to face another day, read your notes. What did I do how did I do this? And make a resolve to never do it again. Make that step to learn. So redefine your failures that way. And I think you'll find that really there isn't any failure. There's just little stepping stones on the way to permanent success. Guys, have a great day. I'll let you get your day started. I'll see you tomorrow on Thursday. In between now and then, good luck, good trading, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.